Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Amazon Ads Raw. And today we'll talk about a new tab inside the advertising console, which is a very new and exciting update and feature that has been rolled out. I am seeing this in a German account. I've not seen this in US accounts, which is also wild. Usually you would see new features rolled out in US accounts earlier. But this time it's a little bit different. And the new tab lives amongst all these other tabs over here. It's about rules. And to summarize what rules can do, there are essentially a method for you to either change your bids or your budgets or do something with the targeting on specific campaigns. Historically, you needed to create a rule within the campaign. So you would need to go inside the campaign into the settings, and then you would set up a rule, a bid rule, a budget rule, or both. And then you would need to go into a new campaign. Now, with these rule tabs, first of all, you have an overview of your rules. You'll see the schedule, you see descriptions, you see if they're active or not. You can search for them, you can filter for them, either by active or paused. You can filter by the category, which is, bids, target, budget. And yeah, you can even do some bulk actions here, like enabling and pausing. So this is a fancy new way for rules. So Amazon is going into more automation or semi-automation, because you still need to set up these rules, but then things will be automated. Before we go into the rules specifically and before I show you how it works, one thing with Amazon, and this is not fixed, let's say, rules are usually up only. Means if I want to change the bids, I can only increase them with rules. If I want to change the budget, I can only increase the budget with rules. All right, but without further ado, let's deep dive into these rules a little bit. When you click on add rule, you can give it a name, obviously, rule number one. And then, but first before we go with the name, let's go from top to bottom. You select the type. For bids, it means you would adjust the bids of your campaign, or now you can choose multiple campaigns. The option to select them is still not ideal. You have a drop down. Within that drop down, you can filter and search, but it's not searching all your campaigns. So if a campaign is on page 2, you would need to go to page 2 to find it. So this is still not ideal, but it allows you, let's say you want to do this across all your campaigns, you just select the first 50 or everything, it allows you to, select all of them, 50, and then you go through and select the next all of them, and so on and so forth. Not perfect, but it's a improvement. All right, so bids, you choose your campaigns. You choose a start and an end date for a rule. You don't need to specify an end date if it should just run forever. Then you say, should the rule be done on a daily basis or weekly? And if you select weekly, you can select which date. You can also say, okay, let's do something on Monday and Saturday. Here's a quick example. Let's say your weekends are usually strong. Then what you would want to do maybe is like increase your bids on a Saturday and Sunday all day by 10%. And you call it weekend sponsor product boost. Currently, rules are only for sponsor product campaigns. You cannot select any sponsor brand campaigns. So that's one thing. And then you can do that. You could also say, hey, only do it in the evening. I just want to boost my bids in the evening from 8 to 12 with 10% in this case. And there you go. This is as simple as it gets, and it would apply to all of the campaigns, right? So let's say we do all of them, apply, and then you have them over here, and then you can run your rules, and that's it. Another thing you can do is the budgets. Works quite similar. You would choose your campaigns, you would choose the start and an end date. You say either run this daily or run this on a specific day of the week. Here you cannot change the time because the budget is a daily budget. So it does make sense that you cannot adjust it just in the evening. And Again, there's only up only. So if you want to boost your bids on the weekend, maybe you also want to boost your budgets. So in our case, we would do a bid boost for, um, for the weekend. We choose the same campaigns, boom, 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 and that's it. This is based on schedule. You can also do based on performance. So this would add another check. And on these days you have selected, it would check if a specific metric, let's say ACOS, is below 30, and then the budget would be increased. Right? You could also say ACOS is greater than 30. The thing is, the adjustment is up only. I think you cannot do negative adjustments here. Let's try. No. Choose a percentage between 1 and 10. So that's why I don't get like this specifically. ACOS greater than 30. Probably it's like, hey, ROAS is greater than 30. Then obviously increase the bids. Or my conversion rate is greater than 30. So they just have this, even though ACOS greater than doesn't make sense, because if the ACOS is greater than my threshold, usually I want to reduce something. All right. So that's how you'll deal with the bids and the budgets. And the last thing is the targeting. Here, Amazon created a automation that works, and this is not new. So they created this already a year ago or something like that. That works similar to how agencies and PPC manager would create campaigns. Usually you have an auto campaign, you use that for harvesting, and good search terms you would take out of the auto campaign and put it into an exact match campaign. Amazon does this a little different. What they do is they have a campaign with an ad group that is automatic, and they have in that campaign there's another ad group for keywords manually booked in. And now what you can do with this automation is, whenever a search term or a keyword or a product target would fall into a certain threshold, let's say more than 5 orders in the last 65 days, then add this keyword to my manual ad group. I think this automation is amazing. The only problem I have with this is it's in the same campaign. And that makes things complicated, because the campaign is where you have all your settings, your budget, your bid adjustments, your audience adjustments, up and down settings, and also bid adjustments. You know, these bid rules and budget rules, they're on campaign level. Why would I want to have these keywords in the same campaign? That doesn't make sense. I want to have my auto campaign to run for itself, and everything that comes out of that, which is good, should go into a different campaign that I can bid up. Anyways, that's the way how it works. So you would need to have a campaign with 2 ad groups, and then or even 3 ad groups. So if you also want to have product targets, then you need 1 ad group for auto, 1 ad group for keywords, and 1 ad group for product targets. And then this campaign would automatically harvest based on your filters and add the stuff depending on how you set it. You can even do, further increase the bids. Initially my bid was 10 cents, or no, 10 cents doesn't make sense. Initially my bid was 50 cents in auto campaign. Whenever you find something that fits these criteria and you add it, then increase the bid by 50%. All right. Yeah. As I said, you need to find, I think you cannot use this in different campaigns, but let me know if you find this harvesting. Let me know if you saw this works differently. But that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today. There's a new rules tab that might roll out to your ad console soon. With that, you can create rules across your campaigns, and you can manage that across your campaigns. You can go in and change that rule, and you don't need to go into each of the campaigns individually and change the rule. And I think this is a great feature, a great expansion. However, it still only allows for up-only adjustments, which I'm not a fan of. And yeah, on this last, automation, I would love to see us being able to harvest stuff from one campaign into another campaign, because then I would be super happy. This would be a powerful thing. I think it already is a powerful thing, but not as powerful as it could get. All right, guys, have a wonderful day and thanks for listening. Bye bye.